Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. Today is Friday, end of the trading week, Friday the 28th, actually the last Friday of the month, going into August next month. Today, what we're going to do is do a market recap. Market ended up and closed pretty good on the week, near the highs of the week, but closed positive for the day on Friday. We had one big down candle, which would have been Thursday. So markets showed a lot of strength here this week. So we'll check out the market movers of the day. Obviously, we had the Fed announcement this week. There's some demand zones in the S&P 500 just below current price where, who knows, we might see this market continue to go gangbusters to the upside. We will look at a little bit of earnings next week, see what we have on tap, and close it out, and then prepare for our next show tomorrow morning, Saturday. So starting off with the S&P 500, we have been looking at the SPY ETF every time we peek at these, and closing the week out at 456.92, just a positive week on the S&P 500 ETF. The week was up about, who cares what it was up, but it was up on the day or on the week. Last 3 weeks, we've seen some good moves in the S&P 500 ETF. We do have that demand zone much lower on the daily chart, but there's actually a couple small ones kind of created right above them too. So I'm going to say this S&P 500 looks, and looks is kind of an opinionated word, like it's going to continue to all-time highs. We have not breached that high of March 2022, but we are right there. So we'll see what happens this coming week here. The Fed continues to drive this market. Let's look at the Dow Jones, which would be the DIA ETF, also positive on the week, 3 weeks in a row. Same story. Looking, we're at right now, it's pierced the highs from March of 2022, but actually this is actually April of 2022. But it has closed right at that point. So we did see some selling pressure towards the end of the week here with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Closing the week out and the day, up on the day, but very indecisive on the day. Thursday, a big down candle, but closing the week out at 354.48. The QQQ, which is the NASDAQ ETF, also showing some pretty good strength here on Friday. It gapped up bigly and closed high about 1.82% up on the day. On the week, we are looking at the first 1 week in a row here as positive week. Last week was actually a down week for the NASDAQ. So strength there with the NASDAQ. This one is nearing the all-time highs again. So, like I said, this market has been gangbusters from October of 2022. Closing the week out, the QQQ at 383.48. We will look at spot gold and silver. We've been looking a little bit at the ETF for gold and silver, but I think we can get a better gauge on the spot market. So, gold closing the week out at $19.59.12. So, this market here, not as strong, obviously, as the S&P 500. It is in that demand zone that we have been talking about that was created back in July, around July 14th, 13th, 12th, that area. So it dropped into it. It respected it, came out of it, and dropped back down to the very lows of it, and it showed some strength here on Friday, up about 0.69% on the day, about $13. So we're still continuing to hold this demand zone. So we'll continue to see what happens here. There is supply overhead. So I see this market being a little choppy here for quite some time. That is gold. Silver ending the week at $24.41. Up on the day about 1.13%. So a good job for silver. That looks good for my physical silver holdings that I have. Pretty sideways here. There's not a whole lot of action with the silver market. Coming off the lows from March of 2023. Up from $19 to $24. So technically it's up on that, but on the year, we are still only up about maybe a couple percent, 2%, 3%. Whoop-de-doo. So let's look at Bitcoin. We haven't talked about Bitcoin for a while. That one is now out of our yellow box that we had here for, probably 3-4 weeks. Closing, or it's actually open right now. It's just the market never closes. Right around $29,350 per Bitcoin, and out of that box that we've been talking about. So we might see this continue to drop down to kind of a little demand zone right around the 26,554 area. So let's see what happens there. Actually, that same demand zone right around on the 4-hour chart and the daily chart. Ethereum, where does Ethereum at about 1,879.30 cents. Also, this market hasn't moved much. It's pretty gosh darn sideways for quite some time. Polkadot sideways at about $5.21. I like to look at HNT. Boy, HNT up 2.76% on the day at a whopping $1.58. So this market actually showing a little bit of volatility. So I'm going to continue to monitor that. I'm not technically trading that. I'm actually mining helium. It's a 5G network, and you also get some Solana with that too. It's kind of interesting. So that's HNT. Let's look at NVIDIA up 1.58% on the day, 1.85% on the day. Apple up 1.35% a day, closing the week out at 195.83. Is that near all-time highs? Right near all-time highs again. NVIDIA closing the week out at 467.50, also near those, I would assume all-time highs, but near those highs again. Tesla up about 420% on the day. Go figure, Elon Musk. At about 266.44 closing out the week. Meta also up 4.42%. Just a big up move for the markets this week. Meta closing at the very highs there on the week here. So lots and lots of strength for Meta. PayPal up 2% on the day, 2.71 to be exact. Airbnb up 3.25%. Let's go look at the options that we had been talking about. AMC, obviously, we closed those out a while back, but up about 2.65% on the day. I was looking at the premium on AMC again, and it wasn't really offering. It was still offering about 1%, but based on my rules in my plan, it says do not trade this at this point. So we took our premium back in from that last option, and we'll move on to the next. Disney, we have an option on that, full disclosure, up 0.9% on the day. So that one, hopefully they, I don't remember the strike price on that, but I'm hoping that they do, we get about 90% of the premium here before June 23rd. I'm sorry, before August 9th when they have earnings. So we'll see what happens there, but it'd be nice to close that one out before earnings. We're looking pretty good on that one. Netflix also up big on the day, 3.05%. So markets have been selling off a little bit. Netflix is low on the percent Bollinger Band. So obviously markets closed. So on Monday, we will check out the premium and see if it's given any premium. Netflix is typically a volatile stock. There might be some premium available with Netflix. No major demand zone I'm seeing on the daily chart, but I do see a little demand zone right around the 341 area, or even the 303 area. So we'll check the strikes on that on Netflix here on Monday. So markets looked really good this week. We had the Fed announcement on Wednesday. Fed talk Powell talked on Wednesday afternoon as well, and then we had earnings. And the majority of the companies, I mean, not the majority, but a lot of companies are beating their earnings, and a lot of that is because they lower their forecast, making it look really good. So companies beating their earnings. Let's look at earnings whispers for Monday, for next week, and see what we have coming up for earnings. Let's look at Monday. About 104 companies reporting on Monday, the 31st, last day of the month. Any notable ones here? We have, we'll call it well-known stocks. I don't see any major ones on Monday at this point. Obviously, if you're in any positions at this time in any of these companies that have earnings coming up, make sure to protect yourself on those. Earnings typically brings out some volatility. Not a whole lot of household companies on Monday to my knowledge. AMD, that's going to be a big one on Tuesday. They're projected to be down about, I don't know what it says here. It doesn't say. So you got AMD, you got Starbucks on Tuesday, MicroStrategy. So some big boomers, big names on Caesars Hotels. I was just peeking at that last week. So we do have some household companies reporting on Tuesday. And then as we know, Tuesday is a pretty big day. Almost 200 some companies. Wednesday, over 300 companies. And Thursday, over 400 companies reporting earnings. Be very careful on Thursday, especially in tech. You got Amazon, Apple, Coinbase, Airbnb, DraftKings. You got some big names doing earnings on Thursday. So be very careful on Thursday with trading and investing in any of those stocks, but tech to be specific. Dropbox, Yelp. I don't even know if that's a big stock or not. I don't pay attention to that one. So some big names on Thursday, and then wrapping up the week on Friday with earnings on Friday the 4th. You're looking at none. It shows no earnings on the 4th. I don't know if that's right, but if it is, there you go. So that's your market recap on the week. So great move in the market this week. I mean, I'm looking at this market continuing to go gangbusters, but anytime you get an opinion on something, consider your opinion always wrong. So always be looking for something a little bit different. If the public all thinks something's going to happen, usually the institutions know that. They will move the market the opposite way because the public typically struggles in trading and investing. Institutions, they always win. So that being said, find a strategy that is trading like those institutions, not against them, to be jumping on their coattails. Protect your losses when they are small. Take your gains when they are there and given to you. Until tomorrow, retire young, my friends.